Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach Today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB. We are here, episode number 4756. It is October 17, 2022, and we are ready to go. Got a great week planned for you. You know, we're really into this metaphysical kind of esoteric truth idea. I'm having a lot of fun with that as we are rocking and rolling right now. And we're going to keep moving this week. We're going to keep going that direction. We're going to talk about letting go, the power of surrender. You know, we got into Michael Singer's work heavy this year, and we'll continue that. I mean, his last book was just amazing. Tomorrow we're going to do part 2, Measure What Matters, and kind of keep going through our book study. A little bit more of a business book. Got some questions on this book, so I want to hammer some of the questions that I got. And then next week we'll conclude it, and I'll have another book for you the following week. And then Wednesday we got Productivity Plan, When to Let Go. Going to be a good one. Don't miss that. That's also day 1 of our first IC retreat here at the Retreat Center. Super pumped about that. Thursday, Ask Me questions coming up. Day 2 of the IC retreat. And Friday, we've got money thoughts. Is it always on your mind? Are you always thinking about money? We're going to go over that, and that's day 3 of the I receipt. Then Saturday, we got a good one. We're going to talk about the power of the journal. Don't miss that. And then Sunday, let go, let God. So we got a big week. Super pumped about it. And it all starts with this, you know, really this ability to get a plan together and be able to execute on a plan. And so when we talk about that, it's like, it's the ability to be able to surrender to the plan. So what does that mean? Let's get into this. Well, the idea of surrendering to a plan is that you are going to get something in place, some type of structure, okay? And again, we've got Get It Done Now. That's what most people are doing. They've got it in their head, or they're using our planner, or they're, you know, soon to be using the Evernote templates that we've been working with Evernote on. And they've got the structure, right? So then it's the ability to take the things that we're talking about, that mission, that focus that we're talking about, that objective that we're learning about in our book study, and then applying the basics to it so that we can achieve and do the things that we want to do. Right? And that's the plan. And then having the plan allows us to continue to press on, trusting the plan even when things aren't working. And I think that's the big issue when it comes to this stuff. Now, remember, I've created this. I've been working with it for 17 years. We've got amazing people that are helping us make it better and better. We've got people all over the world that are helping us. And it just gets better every year, right? And what's cool about it is, because I've created this, you have to understand what the original objective was for me. And the original objective was what I say every year is, how do I make more money and work less? How do I make more money and work less? So I don't want to say that I'm lazy, because that's not the word that I really want to use. But the truth is, I want to be lazy. And it's not about laziness, really. Let's reframe that. It's about doing what I want to do when I want to do it. I don't want to have to do things that I don't want to do. I think back at corporate and going into work every day and trying to get myself psyched up to go to work for something I didn't want to do. And I realized being caged and trapped, even though I'd risen to the top of the corporate ladder, running the company, I was caged. I was trapped. And you know, freedom is one of my number 1 values, if you're new with me and haven't really listened. And I needed a plan that was going to create freedom for me. And as I started to go out there and take all these courses and join these masterminds and invest in all these different programs, meet amazing people and share the stage with Wayne Dyer and, you know, read Tracy, the CEO of Hay House, publishing my book, and, you know, it just amazing things occurring. As all of that was occurring, I still didn't have a really good plan, right? And I was just kind of going through the flow. And when things really started to work for me and it create the availability of time, and even more in that, let me start to manifest the things that I really wanted to manifest, was when I started executing on a plan. So the idea of surrendering is amazing. It means just letting things go, just getting out there and allowing things to work, right? But you got to have some direction to get started. You got to point the ship in some direction. And I like using my story because, you know, I always say this is social proof that this works. when I pointed my ship in the direction coming into 2022, which I knew was going to be a great year because 2022, it ends in 22, right? So I was super pumped to come into 2022. But as I started planning 2021, got the planner out, we were working in December and really getting organized. I had no idea that I would be sitting here in my own professional audio studio in my hometown with one of the nicest pieces of land in my hometown and building a retreat center. I mean, it was anywhere near what I really was focused on. I was focused on getting a couple other things done and building the business and putting 100 people in the new program. Now, all of a sudden, the business has shifted tremendously. Now, why can I do that? How can I do that? Because it was actually part of the overall bigger mission. Like the bigger mission was to have a plane, be able to fly back and forth from Florida and have a lake house in Indiana. Well, it all started happening so fast. Like everything started manifesting. I'm, working on my pilot's license. I've actually stepped back from that for a little while because I got to get the retreat center done. But it just exploded as it started coming into the middle of the year, and the financial means came clear. And it was all because of me being able to surrender and let go because I was executing on a plan. Did it work according to the plan exactly the way I wanted it? No, not even remotely close. But because we have flexibility in our Get It Done Now program, I was able to change and I was able to maneuver to benefit myself and the experience of life that I really wanted to live. And as you know, lifestyle to me is what it's about. If you come to retreat, we talk about FU money. I don't want to swear here. But FU money is when you have so much money you don't need to worry about anything. You're just living your life, right? We're going to talk about this on Friday. You don't want to miss it. But there's another FU, and it's an FU lifestyle. And that's when you have things under control. And you don't have to worry about money. I mean, there are times I do my Financial Fridays, I organize, but because I've been able to build systems and structures and plan, I don't need to focus on that. I don't need to be thinking about that. I got to be thinking about what I'm going to produce. And what's so cool about working a plan, it allows me to go forward with integrity and honesty and just be vulnerable in the world. There's nothing I have to do. I just go out and be me. And as I go out and be me, things just work because I don't have to hide anything. I mean, you've been on here listening. I talk about my demons that I work through. The only thing that pushes me back is if I go out on a weekend bender, end up drinking too much. Those damn Jack and Gingers. I get a few of those in me, 2 of them, and it's like, wow, that tastes so good. I'm feeling so good. Next thing you know, I drink half a bottle of Jack. Feel like I'm in the 80s and I'm a heavy metal rock and roll guy again. I have to be careful of that. That's me, right? So I have my demons. It's not like I do everything perfect. I make more mistakes than probably most people. But I'm working a plan, and it allows me to surrender and trust it. And that's really the key. I was talking to John Cunningham, who's in our group coaching program over in Japan. I mentioned him last week. And John's over in Japan, and we were talking, and he says, gosh, and he's in one of our higher programs. So he's investing, right? And he's like, gosh, sometimes I don't know if I want to make the investment because every time I go to move away from the programs that we've put together, he goes, something happens that proves to me that I need to be here, right? And I've seen it over 17 years. People come and go, and then they come back and they realize the fundamentals of what we do day in and day out are what is helping them create the lifestyle that they really want. And when you pull the rug out of the fundamentals, things don't work as good. Now, it doesn't mean, as Denny Jordan, who's the rock star in Florida, owns a real estate company and is becoming this wonderful speaker and doing amazing things, has been with us for a long time. Like she says, not everything that we do resonates. And I think it's really important when we're talking about surrendering, as you look at the things that we're working on together, not everything needs to resonate with you. Not all my beliefs are going to resonate with your beliefs, and that's a good thing. We're about critical thinking and intellect here, about raising higher levels of consciousness and questioning everything. But the one thing that is consistent in what we're going to be doing is giving you the ability to put a plan together and surrender and know you have the support structure to help you day in and day out. How do you know that? Because I'm here 365 days of the year. So it gives you the ability to create a plan, put together a solid morning routine, start working on solid habits, invest in a system, and stick with it. That's how it works. I wish I could just have people get into my brain and really understand that. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people that don't listen, have never understood why people would invest in this type of program. Because it's the consistent activity that we do day in and day out that are going to make the huge changes in your life. Why do I do Saturdays and Sundays? And I started this about 5 years ago because there are people that need it. I can tell you when I go on my AF runs, the alcohol-free run, it's hard when I'm out there alone. And a lot of times, a lot of the stuff we do, you're kind of alone. But the one consistent is I'll be here. I'll be here in the morning. So what you can do is you could start to get the plan together, get a good morning routine, start working on your demons, and start investing in a system, which you are, and focus in on how you can grow and how you can get better and how you can do the basics things day by day that are going to bring you the lifestyle that you're looking for. It's awesome. It's awesome. So when we look at Michael Singer's work that we did the book studies on, and we start to look at this idea of surrendering, the idea is that when things come into your life, you surrender to it. You say yes to it. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, then what's the next step, right? That's what I'm working on to give you the tools and resources to really help you take that next step. This year, at the beginning of the year, we're really going to be focusing on making sure your correct system is in place. Why do a lot of people not get things done? Is because they aren't using the right system. They can't surrender to it because they're trying to use Evernote, and they're not an Evernote person. They should be using a paper and pencil, right? And there's people that are out there right now that are working at jobs where they're doing these Gantt charts. A Gantt chart is like a Excel spreadsheet, right? And it's a creative person, and they're looking at this Gantt chart going, what in the hell is that? And they're being forced to work within the framework of the Gantt chart, where if you gave that same person the same information on a mind map, Katie bar the door, they're exploding. They're coming into work excited because they have the right system in place. And that's one of the things we got to look at. We got to look at and make sure your mentality is matching the system that is allowing you to get the things done that you need to do. Because that will allow you to surrender then. When you're comfortable within the system, things work. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think I mentioned it a couple Thursdays ago, right? When somebody's asking me about organization. It's not about organization. It's about productivity. There are times when I'll use my iPad mini and our planner, and I'll write down the things I need to do that day, and I'll organize it. I'm feeling really good. There are other times when I go to Evernote, and I use Evernote. And the anxiety in me is like, man, I need a system that I use every day that's consistent. And if it's not perfect, it's not working. But that's not the truth. The truth is it's about productivity more than organization. But with that being said, we still want to align systems that are going to work with you. We don't want to be, pushing a square peg in a round hole. It won't fit and it doesn't work, but yet people are doing that every day. And that's why these software as services systems can sell so much, because people are buying that system and that system and that system, and they're not getting consistency. The one thing you'll get here is consistency for me in the program that we're doing. Then what we got to do is we got to find the right software or the right paper and pencil or the right system for you. And that's why I keep creating. And I'm working on video instruction, and we're working with Evernote to build Evernote templates, and we're working on our interactive planner, which is just really badass, thanks to Jurgen this year, who really went through it and tested everything out. Can't wait for 2023 because the planner is just off the charts. So those of you that are using the Remarkable 2 or the iPad or the paper device or the Supernote, man, it's just great. But for those of you that are working on, kind of the technical side and going, give me something that I can use in OneNote and Evernote and those programs, well, we're starting with Evernote. And the concept is, going back to how we started, the whole idea is to get you to what? Have a system in place that you can trust. So you can do what? You can surrender. And you can surrender to it, and then all you got to do is focus on your morning routine, focus on getting solid habits, focus on investing the system and showing up and trusting it. Will life throw you curveballs? Of course. Will some be great? Yes, I can tell you that. Will some suck? Yes. But as long as you have flexibility built into your system, which we do, we can move and kind of shape and go a different direction when we need to. Specifically, when you start to understand our KPIs or OKRs. Okay, which are in the book we're doing, which is those key results that we need, the key objectives. And that's what we're working on. Because once you get that in place, you just surrender and you stop worrying about the results and you just start going after it day by day. Okay? So we got a great week. We're going to get into this idea of key results tomorrow, and we're going to keep focused in on driving this stuff home because it's really important you have the ability to just trust the system. Trust it and keep marching forward. Okay? So you made it to the end. That's awesome. Really awesome you made it here. You listened the whole way. So listen, Mondays are free. I've been doing free for 17 years on Mondays. And then we have our free. So why would you want to invest in this program? Because it literally can change you. You're committed to it, you work on it, and you invest in it. It's really going to really give you a system and structure and organization. I mean, literally, I'm with you every single morning. It's needed. 3 days a week, I'm here. 5 days a week, it's great. You take a week off, but it's great. You come back, I'm here. And what we do is we work together to really help you understand where you're going and building a wonderful plan. So how do you get started? Go over to morningcoach.com. We have 2 programs. We have Ignite and Freedom. Both are great. If you're an entrepreneur, do Freedom. If you're somebody that's working in corporate and just, kind of trying to get organized, do Ignite. $1 30-day trial. Really simple. I mean, that's why I'm doing it, because I believe in it so much. So you go over to morningcoach.com, click the join button, and get started, and we'll get rocking and rolling right now. I mean, literally, you go over there and you join now, you get access to these wonderful programs and so much more. So we'll see you over at morningcoach.com, and I can't wait to get your morning started right tomorrow and every day going forward. Love you. Go have a great one, and we'll see you over at morningcoach.com.